grade 9, we're back. We're going to continue what we have started. Miss Sana, or Miss Nasreen, sorry, it's your turn, present continuous tense. This is a revision. You may say we don't have it in our book, but you will be tested in the exam about tenses. That's why we are revising the tenses for you.
The present continuous talks about a temporary action in progress at present, like what we are doing now. Now we are revising the 9th grade grammar for this year. So this is the present continuous tense. In the affirmative form, we put am, is, are with plus verb ing. I am playing football. She is reading a book. We are studying. The question form, so we make this inversion. We start with am, is, are. Here we have auxiliary verb, so we don't need to take a help from verb to do. And for the negative form, also we add not to am, is, are to say am not, isn't, aren't, like for the example. I am not, we can write it like I'm not, but we can't write or say I'm not. This is very important idea.
I amn't is not.
Okay. I amn't, yes, I amn't. He is not equal with he isn't, or he is
he's not.
His not.
So we can contract it in two ways. He's not or he isn't.
He isn't. We are not, we aren't,
or we're not.
We're not.
So only I'm not is the only way for
is not accepted.
I am not. Yes. Next, Ms. Rasha, and many nexts so that we see the whole page. Thank you. The use with Mr. Mazen Abdul Karim.
Yes, dear students, the use of present continuous. We use the present continuous to express that the action is happening now at the moment of speaking.
Yes, that's it. Yes. When something is happening at the time of speaking, we use the present continuous tense.
Yes.
Keywords are?
Yes, the keywords now, right now, at the moment, at present, today, tonight, this week, this month, this year. Example, I'm watching a film now.
And the second use
The
is?
second use, with incomplete action, she's writing a book. It means she started in the past, but she is still writing.
She didn't finish.
Yes, she hasn't finished yet.
Yes.
Instead of the future tense, we talk about arrangements, personal plans. Example, we are visiting my aunt next week. So this is
not for grade 9.
Yes.
This is extra level.
Extra level.
Yeah,
so we can use the present continuous to express something in the future.
Arrangement in the future.
So for the grade 9 students,
Only
when something is happening now,
at the time of
at the time of speaking, we use the present continuous, and they can, in the exam, look at the keywords now, at the moment, at present. They can choose the present continuous when they see these indicators. Next, Ms. Rasha. Simple past tense is important as well. Ms. Sana.
Okay, first of all, simple past tense is an action that happened and finished before now. I mean in the past. In the affirmative form, we use the verb to. For example, I went to school yesterday. She played volleyball last Monday. In the question form, we use did plus subject plus infinitive. For example, did you play football last Monday? Did she see the film before? In the negative form, we use subject plus did plus not and infinitive. For example, I didn't or I did not play tennis yesterday. He did not go to the cinema with me.
Okay, next, Ms. Rasha. The use, Ms. Nasreen.
Yes. The use is to express a single action, happened and ended. So the action started and ended in the past.
In the past.
Example, we saw that film a week ago. And about the adverbs, we always use yesterday, last plus time, last week, last year,
last Saturday,
last Saturday morning, last Tuesday, etc. Ago, 2 weeks ago. The second use is to express a habit that was frequent in the past. For example, I swam in the river every day last summer. So here it is a habit, but it is
In the past.
frequent.
So when a teacher says, when you see every day, choose the simple present, it's
We
not
have to
correct.
be careful, yes.
We need to look at the time reference, last summer. So it's not every day that determines, it's last summer. Every
Yes.
day is a habit, but since we have last summer, the
So-
verb is in the past. I
So
swap.
it is a specific time in the past. With unreal past, she speaks
As we talked about wish,
wish and
and conditional
conditional.
sentence
This
type
is the
two.
unreal past. When we use the past, but we mean present,
present.
or future. She speaks as if she was an adult.
yes, she speaks as if she was an adult, but actually she is a kid.
I wish I knew the answer, but I don't know, so I wish I knew.
Next, Miss Rasha. Second conditional, we mentioned it. Next,
Fourth.
past continuous tense
Yes.
with
Yes.
Mr. Mazin.
Yes, the past continuous tense is when we talk about an action that was happening in the past at some time, and then sometimes an action interrupted it. For example, I was studying when my mobile rang. So the first, the
An
action
was happening
yes,
and was interrupted.
interrupted
with
by
another-
another action. Yes. The affirmative or the affirmative form is subject plus was or were and verb ing and the complement. Example, I was having dinner when you phoned. The boys were playing football when the bell rang. The question was or were plus subject plus verb ing plus complement. Example, were you studying? Was he watching a film? The negative form is subject plus was or were plus not plus verb ing plus complement. Example, I wasn't playing, they weren't studying.
Next, Miss Rasha, the use, Miss Sana.
Okay, we have three uses. The first one is to show that the action was in progress in the past, which means that the past event, it talks about past events that
The past
happened over
event.
that happened over a period of time. We were studying all day yesterday. The second one is to talk about two actions in the past, as Mr. Abdul Karim said. The first was in progress and was interrupted by another action. We put the first in the past continuous tense and the one which interrupted it in the past simple. Okay, the third one is to show that the action was incomplete in the past.
So always when we have something incomplete, we put it in the continuous tense.
Continuous.
If it is a present, for example, when say I'm reading this book, don't take it. It means I didn't finish. Or maybe Nasreen is reading the book, but she's not here now, but she didn't finish. Don't take the book. In the past, we use the past. Incomplete actions are always in the continuous. We're going to re-talk a little about the present perfect tense since we had a question in the first session from a student, and it is mentioned in the book for grade 9. Just to revise it, Miss Nasreen, present perfect tense.
Present perfect, the main idea is to use have, has with plus verb 3. I have just eaten lunch. She has almost finished cleaning. And as for the question form, we start with have or has. We start with the auxiliary verb. Have you eaten lunch? Has he written a letter? And for the negative form, also we always add not to the auxiliary verb.
Yes.
Next.
I haven't done my homework.
I haven't done. She has never
We
played.
use never.
When we use
sometimes.
never, we don't put not because
course.
never give us the negative meaning.
Yes. Next, Miss Risha, the use.
The use.
Mr. Mazin Abdul Karim.
Yes. The use.
Here we have more than the grade 9 students need, but we will mention it for even the teachers, but quickly.
Yes. When an action happened in the past, the exact time is not mentioned. We talk about it now or we see the result now.
As you mentioned before. When we
Yes.
have time mentioned,
Yes.
simple past.
Yes, simple
No
past.
time reference,
Yes.
present
perfect.
perfect.
Yes, unless it is a fact, students should know it's No, also there is no indicator or indication in the present tense when it is a fact.
Yes.
Somebody has painted the door. In this case, we use already, almost, just, yet. I have just eaten lunch. We use the place for just is after have or has. She has almost finished
So the
cleaning.
position of
Yes.
the adverbs
Is very important.
is important. It is after have, not before it. We don't say I just have eaten.
But we
Yes.
can put already.
Yes,
Already
already
you can
has.
put at the beginning
Or at
or
the
at
end.
the end,
Yes.
but not between have and the subject. You
only
cannot say
already.
I already have.
Yes.
You say I already have when have is a main verb.
Yes.
Do you want to buy a car? I already have one. See, this is main verb, not auxiliary.
Yes.
Example, I have just eaten lunch. She has almost finished cleaning the house. My father hasn't come yet. Has your father come yet? So when we have negative and or question, we use yet at the end of the sentence. Notice, has your father come is a normal question, whereas hasn't your father come yet expresses
Expresses. We have
surprise.
Here we have usually negative questions express surprise. I want to say that this is not for the grade 9 students, but usually, when you start the question with a negative question word, it means you are expressing that you are astonished. When I say, have you finished? It's a question. Haven't you finished? It means I expected you
To finish,
be finished.
and you
Now
haven't
I'm
finished it.
surprised. I use the negative way in asking just to express surprise. Next, Miss Rasha. The second use with Miss Sana.
Okay, when the action started in the past and has continued without stop until the present and may be continued in the future. In this case, we use since and for. Since for a point in time and for with the duration of time. For example, I have played the piano since I was 10. She has driven her car
She has
for 3
driven
years.
her car.
Sorry, driven for 3 years. The third one is when something has never happened before. She has never seen snow. We use never. When one action has happened many times until the present, for example, we have had 4 tests so far. We use in this case so far, until, now, and up to.
In these two sentences, been means went and came back, returned. Gone means
He's
still
still
there.
there.
So when we want to ask if you traveled to Egypt, I cannot ask you saying, have you gone to Egypt?
And you are in Syria.
I need to say, have you been?
Have you been?
Have you been to Egypt?
If I say my mom has been shopping, it means she went and came back.
She's at home.
She has gone shopping. She's not here now.
So
Yes.
being, we can say that it is verb 3 for verb to be and for go.
Present perfect
Sometimes.
continuous, I don't think grade 9 students has to do with it.
No, they have.
They have?
Yes.
Yes,
So let's,
but past perfect continuous is not.
they don't have. Okay, let's talk about the present perfect continuous with Mr. Mazen Al-Karim or Ms. Nisreen.
Yes. The present perfect continuous is, I want to say, it is about an action that has already started and is still going on. This is in general. Now the form is have, has, plus been, plus verb ing. Always when we talk about continuous, we have to use verb ing. This is something to keep in your mind, dear
Exactly.
student. And the question, for, shall I read all the examples?
As you like.
I feel that we have repeated ourselves a lot. I have been waiting for an hour. So this is the affirmative form. Question form has, start with have and has. Have you been teaching since 1999? And how long? I want
Actually,
to...
how long? Yes.
It's very important.
Very important.
When the sentence, when we use since or for and for, so we have to use how long because it asks about the duration
Thank
of
you
the
very
time.
much.
Negative form to add not for have and has. I haven't been teaching. He hasn't been waiting.
Next,
The use.
Ms. Rasha, the use. Mr. Mazen,
Yes, the present perfect continuous is used to show that the action has started in the past, has continued, and has
the present.
continued to the present and may continue in the future. We use since and for. Example, I have been waiting for an hour. He has been teaching since 1999. Number two, to talk about a past activity that has a present result. He is tired because he has been running. So the result is simple present, maybe, and the explanation or the cause is present perfect continuous. Her hair is wet because she has been swimming. We use the adverbs lately, recently, all day, all morning, all week with
Actually,
the tense.
all with time always means continuous.
Yeah.
When we use all with time, it means the action should be
We
continuous.
can't use all with present perfect simple.
Sorry?
Yes, we can use it if the
Can
verb
we
is a
use all?
state. State verb. For example, I haven't seen him all day.
Yes. Just I want to ask Ms. Rasha if we can see if we have any questions. Ms. Rasha, do we have questions here? Because it is black. We don't have questions. You cannot see it. Okay. We are waiting to see if we received no questions until now. It's okay.
It means everything is okay.
Maybe someone wrote we are going to be out of electricity.
Yes.
It will be cut. Maybe that's the reason. Next, Ms. Rasha.
Past perfect.
The past perfect is not important. Let's move. Again, next.
Future tense.
Next.
Future
Yes.
is important.
Now we come to the future. We have will and going to. Miss Sana,
Okay,
start.
let's start with well. In the affirmative form, we use subject.
It's will, not well.
Well, yes, well. Affirmative form subject plus shall or will plus infinitive. For example, I shall or will go to school. We shall or will go to school. You will go to school. He will go to school. She will go to school. It will
Actually,
eat
shall
the
is
bird.
old-fashioned.
Yes.
Nowadays, will is used with all pronouns, but
Yeah.
it is grammar. Next,
Yes.
Miss Rasha. The question form. Now, in the question, usually we use shall with I and we.
Yes.
Shall I and shall we?
Shall we?
Shall I go to school? Shall we go to school? Will you go to school? Will he go to school? And etc.
Next.
Also, Mr. Majid, we use shall when we just also went to show willing to help someone. For example, I'm not good at English. Shall I help you?
Yeah, it's kind of question, yes.
Yes.
Giving offer. Giving offer.
Giving
yes.
an offer, yes.
The negative form. Miss Nisreen, will you
Yes.
read it?
The negative form is to add not to shall and will.
After shall or will.
I shall not, shan't go to
Shan't,
school.
yes.
I will not, won't. Also here, our students have to be careful about, we don't say will not, won't.
Won't.
Want
Yes.
Now, the difference
I
between
won't.
want, I need something, and
Won't,
won't,
will not.
is longer
Yes.
and is
Want.
followed with infinitive without to. While want, need, is followed with to.
To.
Infinite.
Yes.
I
Always.
want to.
Yes.
So if it is I need something, I say I want to.
Yes.
But it is I won't go.
It's longer.
It's longer and followed with infinite.
Zero form.
Zero form. Next, Miss Rasha.
The next slide, be going to.
Be going to.
Yes.
Mr. Mazen Al-Karim.
Yes, we use the form subject plus be, I mean, is, are, plus to infinitive to express another way to express the future. Example, I'm going to be a doctor. You are going to be a doctor. He is going to be a doctor. She is going to be a doctor. We are going to be a doctors. We are going to be doctors. They are going to be doctors. Sometimes,
A lot of examples.
yes.
Boring, maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
sometimes, American way they say I'm gonna, yes, instead
Yeah,
of I'm
in
going
spoken,
to.
I'm gonna,
Spoken,
yes.
yes. I'm gonna play something.
Going
like that.
to can
Yes.
be contracted to be gonna, and
Yes.
want to can be contracted to be wanna.
Wanna, yes.
It's okay in speaking.
Yes. the question form, be plus subject plus going to, infinitive plus complement. Am I going to be a doctor? Are you going to be a doctor? Is he going to be a doctor? Is she going to be a doctor? Are we going to be doctors? Are they going to be doctors? Is it going to eat the bird?
Not to be the
So here, all of them about using the
Using
verb to
going
be.
to, verb to
going
be,
to. I
yes,
want to
the
add
negative
something.
form. Will you move next, Ms.
Can I
Rasha,
add
again?
something for
Yes, please.
the future tense in Unit 7, I think,
Yes.
for the 9th grade, we use will and going to. And in our book only, we concentrate on that we use will when we make a decision at the time of speaking, usually in dialogue, and when we want to predict the weather will be. This is, and the difference between will and going to is that going to talk about action that has already been planned before. I'm going to visit my grandma next week. So this is the difference. But in the final exam, don't worry, because
You are not going to.
to choose between
yes.
both of them, because
Thank you so much. Actually, what you have just said is in the board. I'm going to summarize it to the students, and we're going
Must be
to
going to,
finish
yes.
with it. We have to use both will and going to for prediction and intention. Intention means to do something. Difference between them.
they are
If
so
the
close.
intention, as you said, is taken, the decision is taken at the moment of speaking, we use will. And it's very clear, because it is, if I say I don't have money, you say I will give you. You decided now. If someone dropped something, you say I will pick it up for
I
you.
will open the door, I'll answer the
Someone
phone.
is knocking at the door, I will answer. It's clear that you decided now, so we use will. We use going to for planned, the decision made before time of speaking. For example, I'm hungry now. I say I will make a sandwich. I go to the kitchen. Someone sees me there, says, what do you want? I'm going there to tell him about something I decided before. So there I say I'm going to make a sandwich. If I'm wearing my suit and my tie and I see my car is dirty, I say, oh, my car is dirty, I will wash it. I decided now. But after I change my clothes and I carry a bucket of water, I need to say I'm going to wash, because I decided before and changed my clothes and I'm going to do something I decided before. So simply, decided now, will. Decided before, going to. This is for intention, when you want to do something. For prediction, to predict the future, the rule says if you predict, if you tell the future because you see
You have to use
something,
going to.
you
There
have
is- there is a
evidence,
signs.
we use going to.
Yeah.
If there
Look
is an
at those
evidence.
dark clouds,
It's going to rain. Yeah.
He is not looking on his way, he is going to fall. Maybe he is using the mobile and we have all. So when we see something that tells us about the future, going to. But when we think about something, we don't see. We think about something will happen, we use will. For example, we say every man and woman will have a plane after 50 years. So I predict from thinking, not seeing. I think like this. We summarized.
Okay.
And I want to finish, but before I finish, I want to thank my precious colleagues in the studio, Miss Sana Ismail, English language
Thank you.
teacher, Damascus Directorate, Miss Nisreen Saqbani, English language teacher,
It has been a
Damascus.
pleasure meeting you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much, Damascus Directorate, and Mr. Mazen Abdul Kareem, English language teacher, Damascus Countryside Directorate.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank Ms. Rasha Khansa, the director of the session. She was very helpful. Thank you so much. And I want to thank Mr. Mahmoud Hamid, the director of the platform, and our boss, Ms. Nadia Al-Ghazuli, and our brave minister, Mr. Imad Al-Azab. Thank you very much for being with us. This is me, Abdul Majid Ogharli, senior supervisor and coordinator. Hope you do well in the exam, and hope all Syrian people be safe with the